Hola, ¿cómo estás? Good morning, buenos dias. How you doing? That's a little bit of Spanish for you Spanish speakers, and that's pretty much all I've got. But nonetheless, welcome to the midweek. You made it, middle of the week. For us, it's a great time. As I've shared with you many times on these Wednesdays, it's our midweek Bible study. And look forward to gathering together with God's people. Encourage you, if you make Calvary Chapel, South OC your home, that you would make it a priority. Come out to church tonight. Come and be fed the Word of God. Worship with God's people. Invest in your walk with the Lord. It's an hour and a half out of your life just in the Word, in worship. You won't be disappointed. You'll be blessed as you invest in your walk with Jesus. Encourage you. Hope to see you tonight at 7 p.m. You know, the Christian life has been referred to in many different ways. The Bible calls it a walk. Thus we say a daily walk. The Christian life has been likened to a fight. Paul talked about, I fight a good fight of faith. But the Christian life has also been likened to a race that we all run in. Now, in this race, I'm not competing against you. You're not competing against me. I'm really competing against myself. We all are in a race. That's what it is. And it's not a sprint, by the way. It is a long distance race. And it continues until we reach glory. And Paul talks about now in 1 Corinthians chapter 9, the Christian life like a race. And look what he says about it. He says in verse 24, "Do you not know that those who run a race all run, but one receives the prize? Run in such a way that you may obtain it." He asked the question to the Corinthians, do you know that we are in a race? Some people don't know. Some people, this is a race. Oh, this is something that needs to be consistent. Yeah, it's a race. And Paul says if we're going to run in the race, then we should run with the purpose of completing it and really wanting to finish strong, to finish well, to run a good race in the Christian life. You know, the writer of Hebrews also comments on this, and I believe it is in the 12th chapter that he mentions that if we are to run in this race, that we are to lay aside every weight and the sin which so easily ensnares us, and to run with endurance, looking as we run unto Jesus, who is the author and the finisher of our faith. So we are in a race. Do you know that? If that is the case, then we want to run in such a way that we might win. We want to finish strong. And in order to do that, in order to run a strong race, Paul says there's some things that we need to consider, spiritually speaking, in this race. He says in verse 25, everyone who competes for the prize is temperate in all things. They do it to obtain a perishable crown, but we for an imperishable crown. In that culture, and it seems that Paul was a sports fan because he mentions more than once a race. He talks about wrestling. There was the Isthmian Games that took place in the area of Corinth. They were very aware of seeing these races. And of course, there were the Olympic Games that also originated during the first century. These Corinthians had seen a race, and they knew that a runner or any competitor would have to be temperate. Do you know what the word temperate means? It means self-disciplined, self-controlled. They are temperate in all things. There is a regiment that a runner will have to put themselves through in order to train if they really want to win. It's not like you can just, imagine going into track and field and you never run. And you know what? You're going to put your feet in the blocks. There's no training. And you're like, I'm ready. Let's hit it. Fire that gun off. Watch me win. No, that's not going to happen. These guys have to go, and these men and women go through incredible amounts of training. They have to eat right. They have to train right. They have to go through all kinds of things so that their bodies can be finely tuned, so that when they come into that arena and they compete with everybody from all over the world, if they're really going to win, it's a lot of sacrifice. It's a lot of hard work. They are temperate in all things. And for what reason? Why do they put their body through 4 years of just rigorous training and through injury and battling and running and stuff you never see? Why do they do it? They have a goal in mind. What is it? I want to win a gold medal. That's the goal. I want to stand on that podium. I want to hear my national anthem. I want to be remembered as the fastest person or the strongest person or whatever their goal is. They're temperate in all things. And they're doing it, Paul says, for a perishable crown. In other words, that gold eventually, it's going to tarnish, it's going to fade. That wreath that they would get back in the day, that they would place upon their head, it would wither. But he said, think about this. In a spiritual race, we're running for something that is imperishable, a reward that lasts forever. You know, the Bible talks about the rewards that we receive at the end of our race. It talks about crowns. Several crowns are mentioned in the Bible. We will receive a reward for the race that we have run. The question is, what kind of race are we running today? Are we temperate? Are we self-controlled? Do we discipline ourselves in such a way, in a godly sense, that we're not disqualified? You ever seen that happen? People get disqualified in these races that they run. Paul says here, look at this. He said, in light of the fact that we're running for an imperishable crown, I love this. He said, therefore, in light of this, therefore I run not with uncertainty, not without direction. He said, I fight not as one who beats the air. I'm not just shadow boxing here. You know, this is a real battle. It's a big difference. And then he says this in verse 27, but I discipline my body, I bring it into subjection, lest when I've preached to others, I myself should be disqualified. Paul said, I am running my race in such a way that I'm disciplining my body in a good way. Discipline is a good thing. You know, when you operate in those boundaries of discipline, you find there's a lot of freedom in that. So when you get outside of that things kind of go sideways. Paul said, I discipline myself spiritually so that when I'm preaching to other people, I'm not disqualified. In other words, I'm not telling you to do something that I'm not doing myself. I'm doing it myself and I'm imparting it to you so that you also will do it, in essence, is what Paul is saying. You don't want to be disqualified. You don't want to miss opportunity. And there are people who get into a physical race, and you ever seen them? They run and they win by a few seconds, and then they do the tests on them and they find out they had something in their body that enabled them to go faster than the other person. And what happens? They're disqualified. Stripped. They lose the opportunity to stand on the podium. It goes to somebody else. Paul said, I'm not going to do that spiritually. There's a lot of things that would seek to disqualify us, trip us up in our race. But by the grace of God and through the power of the Spirit of God and through the Word of God, we remain self-disciplined, temperate, self-controlled, avoiding certain things that could hinder our race. Friend, listen, is there anything hindering your race today? Anything tripping you up? Anything holding you back? Set it free. Cut it loose. So that you can run a solid race. And not just run a good race, but also finish that race strong. May God help us to do that. God bless you as you run your race today. Take care. We'll see you tomorrow.